Welcome into our 5th installment of a Madden 24 rebuild. Obviously, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. This one was requested, so I'm going to jump on this. Not that I'm upset about it. I am a Steelers fan after all. We're going to start from the beginning of the current year. We're going to pretty much just sim this whole year, but before we get into all this, I'm going to show you at least the roster and what we're working with. I've already aligned the depth charts how I want them. We're going to go with Kenny Pickett. And the Steelers are obviously a hot topic right now due to the fact that, well, guys like Mason Rudolph have been playing probably better than Kenny Pickett. And, you know, while that is true, I as a Steelers fan, someone who has watched Steeler football since before Casey Hampton and Brett Kiesel retired and, you know, watch Super Bowls and see how things happen in the Steelers organization, which is very different than other organizations, I can just tell you, Kenny Pickett is more than likely still the number one quarterback on this team. Yes, Mason Rudolph has the hot hand. Absolutely, he should be starting this week. And if they win this week and make the playoffs, he should start that week. I don't care if Kenny's healthy. You ride the hot hand. But to say that Kenny hasn't had to say that he's had a chance is wrong. Some people, I said that in one of my other videos, and someone got after me because 24 starts, had not had a chance, but Trey Lance has had a chance, whatever, and he's had like 8 starts or whatever. But the point with Kenny Pickett is he had to deal with a terrible offensive coordinator who was so bad that Ben Roethlisberger, a Hall of Fame quarterback, couldn't make things happen until he called his own plays in the 2-minute game. And the second he gets fired, Kenny plays one game against the Bengals and lights it up. Has the best game of his career. Plays very, very well. And then, guess what? Mason Rudolph plays without Matt Canada as well. Plays very, very well. So, I think you can't call either of them out. And at best, we're looking at a good situation where we walk into 2024 with a quarterback battle of Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett. And that might sound like mediocrity if you're not a Steelers fan. But at the same time, one of these guys might step up to this show and take over. He might really make a difference. So I'm not saying they're the future. I'm not saying that Kenny Pickett's great. I've probably one of the lowest Steelers fans on Kenny Pickett that there is. I don't trust him entirely. He's at best a peak Derek Carr or so. And that's if he does develop well, But yeah, I mean, that's where we're at, the QB situation. Obviously, he's 13 overalls better in Madden. He's a star dev. We're running with Kenny Pickett. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, a good 1-2 combo. However, you can't really use 2 running backs in Madden. So we'll do what we can. I'll show you the special lineups in a minute. George Pickens, debatably the number 1 receiver in my opinion. I think a lot of people have already jumped on the train saying he absolutely is. And, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think he's definitely up there. But here's the thing. Some people say, I saw like a ESPN show or whatever, they're saying they started feeding their best player on offense, George Pickens. While that may be to a point true, why is he the best player? Is he really that much better than Deontay Johnson? Is he really that much better than Najee Harris? Najee Harris has had 3 straight years of 1,000-yard rushing. He's the 4th best rusher since he came into the league out of all running backs. Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, and Nick Chubb. No, not even Nick Chubb. Josh Jacobs are the only guys that top him. No one would think that. But either way, there's reasons for it. This, that, and the other. But I think we just have a bunch of options. Pat Freiermuth, another great player. One of the most underrated tight ends in the league, I believe, honestly. And I'm trying to keep myself unbiased here. I really am. I just think Pat Freiermuth, when he's healthy, is able to do tons and tons of things. Looks like a very good player and will develop very nicely for us in real life and in Madden. Broderick Jones, obviously the first-round pick this year. Very good tackle at this point. He's proven himself to be pretty solid. I believe he is star dev. James Daniels, a good line. Mason Cole's going to be replaced as soon as possible. Dan Moore, he's been okay. I mean, he's not great as a left tackle, but to be considered, a left tackle starter as a 4th-round pick, not too worried about it. We're fine with that. Basically, the O-line is pretty decent outside of Mason Cole. Dan Moore can be upgraded, but we're not worried about it right now. Then the defense, obviously a great unit. Minkah Fitzpatrick, probably the best safety in the league. TJ Watt, the best edge rusher in the league. I don't care if you call me biased on that one. He's better than Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's never led him over a stat in his career outside of last season when TJ didn't play. There's nothing that Myles Garrett does better than TJ Watt. And if you think so, you're wrong. Simple as that. Larry Ogunjobi, Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, a good front. I've already done the training camp and whatnot, so I've gotten a few upgrades for a couple players here and there. Nick Herbig has played well when he's gotten in. Looks like a guy that could develop nicely for the Steelers in real life. Not sure how he's going to work in Madden, though. Alex Highsmith, obviously a solid player. Joey Porter Jr. has already established himself as a very solid corner in the NFL. Locked down a lot of receivers so far this year. Locked down Jamar Chase. The only things that Jamar Chase was able to get on him was some tip passes that shouldn't even have caught, that have gone to Jamar. Either way, Joey Porter Jr. is a very solid player. Got decent depth in corner, but nothing we're not looking to replace still, because Levi Wallace is not the best player, and Patrick Peterson is quite old, but we'll get there when we get there. Casey, Neal, solid safety rotation. The linebackers are decent, but not great. Not a bad unit overall. Then the special teams, Boswell, obviously one of the better kickers in the NFL. Presley Harvin's all right. Calvin Austin's going to be our return man. And, specialist-wise, obviously coming off the edge, we've got Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt. Pat Pete's going to play in the slot for us as well as Casey. Sub-linebackers, this is the only real big switch here. We've got Quan Alexander jumping in there. And then Jalen Warren will take some reps at the third down RB spot. Deontay's going to run the slot just because I just see him as a slot receiver. Another thing I wanted to show was I did make a receiver change. As you can see this right here, I have Calvin Austin III over Allen Robinson, simply because I just think I need him to develop now. And Allen Robinson is older. He's going to regress anyways. Might as well get the young guy up front and just getting the chance to move the ball. Obviously, we're going to try to do as much as we can, as fast as we can, in terms of winning a Super Bowl. But, yeah, this should be a fun rebuild, considering it's one of my favorite teams, or my favorite team, actually. And, a solid team at that. There's a lot to work with, as I've said. Obviously the defense is great and whatnot. But either way, let's start simulating this first season, and I'll stop anytime we see anything interesting happen. After week 2, we already have a breakout player. I forgot to record the first intro, but I didn't play anything, obviously. Keanu Benton is now up to start. That is huge for us because he's one of our young players. I mean, this Steelers draft class this year, Joey Porter Jr., Broderick Jones, Keanu Benton, Nick Herbig, a very solid draft class. We also get a breakout DB coming into next game. Let's check it out. Minkah Fitzpatrick. He saw it firsthand, coach. We totally shut down the pass last week, but it wasn't good enough. I wanted this defense to be the best, and I want to be the best. Babe Ruth called a shot back in the day. Well, watch me closely this week. I'm about to make a huge statement against the Raiders. Less than 100 passing yards, or get 3 turnovers, or Minkah 3 stats. Interceptions, forced fumbles, tackles, lost sacks. Probably not going to happen because an X-Factor breakout is almost impossible in the sim in this game. Either way, we're going to check out some scouting real quick. We've got, I've already assigned our scouts at least what I wanted. First overall, we got to get a corner in this room. Another developmental corner with Joey Porter Jr., Pat Pete Hap there as well. Second, we got to get that defensive end position lined up. Ogunjobi and Cam Hayward are both very old, and it just is what it is. Our tier 2 scout is a defensive tackle, offensive tackle scout. Either one will be great to me. If you look over there, the top prospects, we have 3 offensive tackles and 1 defensive tackle in that region. That's great. Outside linebacker, middle linebacker is just something to throw in. These look pretty solid to me. That should be good. I like that. Even if it's a bad, it's a weakness in the division, I'm fine with it as long as it, helps us get something somewhere and a little bit extra beef. Prospect-wise, I mean, looking at the corners is what, like I said, we were going to aim for. We've already seen a couple A's and B's. Not bad at all. There's going to be an options here. We're going to be able to land one. It's just which one. A lot of B's on this guy. I like that. But if he's a man coverage corner and he's got an A man, ooh, that's a good corner right there. We'll have to check back later. I'm not going to go through this too much right now, as I said, because, there's just a lot here, but nothing we're going to be able to look into a whole lot. So we'll come back to that in a few weeks. But either way, just want to show you all those breakout games, and I'll let you know if Minkah hits his breakout, and if not, I'll probably just keep simming past, and you won't see anything about it. Coming into week 8, we are 3-3, not the greatest, but we have a breakout wide receiver. Who's this going to be? It does that little thing where it doesn't tell you. Keep throwing it my way. I truly believe I'm potentially one of the best players on the team, and I have the opportunity to prove it. George Pickens, not surprised. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, 150 yards and 3 touchdowns in an actual, simulated game is basically impossible. It rarely happens. Set focus scouting. We'll set it to cornerback just to make sure we get those guys where we want them. That's pretty much going to be it. I don't really think we have the necessary means to make a trade right now by any means. Yes, it's a trade deadline. I might scroll through and see what are our benefits to, get this guy or that guy, a young player that's on the block, but I don't see that being relevant right now. If anything, we need more star player trades, something to make a real move happen. But, yeah, I don't see that happening, so if I see anything, I'll let y'all know, but if not, we'll just keep going. Gonna jump here in week 17, and, you know, we're 6-9. And I don't really care, because the better draft pick we get, the better. That simply is that. And I don't really think this team was going to do anything year one. The defense is obviously pretty dang good. I mean, we're not too crazy there. Obviously, TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, you know, the things that are normal. But we definitely got to negotiate with some players. That's one thing we need to jump in and do before it gets too late. Don't really have a ton of money, but, I mean, are there anybody here that we really just need to focus on? Obviously, we're going to accept Najee's option. He's not that expensive, and he's very good in the game, so we're not worried about that. Levi Wallace is a debatable bring back. I just don't know. We might bring him back simply because we're losing a lot of corners. Chandon Sullivan, James Pierre, Darius Rush. Is that it? Yeah, there's a lot of loss to this secondary after this season, so we're probably going to bring one of them back one way or another. It's just going to depend on who that might be. Obviously, Joey Porter's up to star. Broderick Jones star. Keanu Benton star. George Pickens wish he was better than star, but he's not. Developed Nick Herbig a little bit. Kenny Pickett's getting a little bit more development as well. Just trying to make things happen. Develop this team. Because like I said, we're not worried about this year. We're really trying to wait until the next season to really make things happen, if anything at all. The draft this year, we've got some scouting done. We'll run through that real quick. Obviously, some of our big needs are, you know, a corner. So checking out the cornerback room, we're going to get a lot of these open. That's a good corner right there. A's down the board outside of zone, but he's a man corner. He's good. Pretty solid. Anybody else? Where is this guy? Yeah, he does have man A. So that was the one I was looking at earlier. He could be pretty good as well. We'll definitely look at both of them. We're going to be able to land one of them, if not both, but we're not going to draft two guys at the same position. Middle linebackers, Dwayne Robinson looks pretty solid as long as those are closer to B's than D's, but, you know, you never know. There's a lot of times, if any of y'all play these franchises often, you can find outside linebackers that aren't a speed or power rusher. What's the other one? Is it field or pass coverage? If they have good pass coverage ratings, they're a very good middle linebacker in a 3-4 system. So, this guy could be solid if that zone coverage is good. Run stopper is another one. If they're run stoppers, they can be good middle linebackers. He's probably pretty solid. We might take a stab at him later on in some other scouting references, but we'll check it out. Shaq Wall looks like a solid defensive tackle. Definitely that defensive tackle, 6'6", 304 pounds, not bad. This guy doesn't look too bad, Jamichael Norman, but I'm not seeing anything I love particularly. Maybe a second-round guy, if anything. Here, we're not getting a ton out of this position group. This guy looks pretty good. Deontay McFarland, first round, second round, 6'3", 315 pounds is a defensive. That's more of a defensive tackle if you ask me, but whatever. Checking out the tackles because we do kind of need to get some glances at those guys. Devin Darden, I did get a personal scouting on him. He's a round 1-2 guy. He looks pretty dang good. He could be our second round pick if he lasts. Solid athlete overall. Really good ratings, to be honest with you. The injury being AB is huge because that can be very annoying sometimes, but Devin Darden looks pretty solid. We'll keep an eye on him for sure. We need to check out that center group now. I did get a couple position scouts on some of these guys. This one definitely looks like the best one. He is a first round, second round projection, elite in a lot of different things, or potentially elite. The injury's not so great with him, but a lot of good ratings. A B pass block, A run block power, A impact block, B awareness. He's going to be a solid player one way or another. This guy, Joseph Barker, maybe not the, best player, but doesn't look awful. I mean, the pass block finesse ain't good, that's for sure. Maybe not as good as I thought, actually. We'll look around for these centers some more. We got to find somebody to fill that hole because Mason Cole sure ain't it. Yeah, we'll check on that. Other than that, I mean, the quarterback room, I really haven't looked at them much because ultimately, yes, there are 3 quarterbacks here. Kenny Pickett is going to get a third year. In the NFL, you get 3 years as a quarterback to prove yourself. He's developing. He's a 76 overall star dev. One good year, and he could jump up to a superstar. He could jump up to an 80 overall. Lots of things to work with there. Not super worried about it. We got some upgrades. Joey Porter Jr., we always hit those corners with that slot because not only does it upgrade their man well, it also gets them a potentially 2 overall upgrade increase. He's up to an 86 overall, playing to an 87. Broderick Jones is going to get another one as well. I did not mean to click that. I tried to go to the one underneath, but whatever. He's a 77 overall. Pretty good. So we're going to finish this season out. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if we just lost both of these games just to keep our draft pick as low as possible. Because maybe we trade up in that second round and get, Devin Darden in the corner, whoever we want. Either way, I'll see you on a bit. So we went 7-10 and did not make the playoffs. MVP Lamar Jackson. Chargers win the Super Bowl. Asante Samuel Jr. gets an MVP. Crazy there. No awards in our favor. That kind of stinks considering, guys like, rookies of Joey Porter Jr. primarily. Because, Broderick Jones is not going to win an award for anything, obviously. I mean, clearly. He's a left tackle, right tackle, whatever. He ain't winning. Somehow the Chargers held the Niners to 7 points. That's incredible. We're going to check out our stats, see how we performed in general. Kenny with a mediocre 3,200 yards. 22-9, though. Not bad, actually. Don't mind that at all. Took care of the ball for the most part and had, 22 touchdowns isn't terrible. Najee with an 1,000-yard year, 6 touchdowns is a little bit disappointing, but you got over that 4-point yard per carry mark. George Pickens, Deontay Johnson led in receiving. A little disappointing. Nobody hit 1,000 yards here, but when you only throw for 3,200 yards, you can't expect much. Seeing our blocking, Mason Cole had a somehow good year, but that doesn't matter in Madden. Who cares? TJ Watt was actually second on the team in sacks. Cam Hayward, a heck of a season at his age. 12.5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. TJ with that 25 tackle for loss number, those are crazy. Not a bad year there. Chris Boswell, doing Chris Boswell things. Presley Harvin, whatever. Kick returns were solid. Punt returns, who cares? None of this matters. An average year. Not good on offense. That's for certain. Gonna need some change there. Defense, though, it's what we expect. They're a top 5 defense, no doubt about it. We got to fix this offense up. And, that's crazy that, let's fix this offense up and go draft a corner in the first round. Well, that might just be what we have to do. Kenny's developing. We've got weapons. George Pickens is good. Muth is good. Najee's good. If we can find an elite receiver, that'd be awesome. But who's to say George Pickens can't turn into that himself? Checking out the mock draft number 3 to see where we're going to land on the picks. Are we going to end up top 10? No, we end up 12. Devin Darden should fall right into our lap. I don't remember the corners. That was the really high-end corner that we saw. So we have a chance at a corner in Devin Darden for sure. Pretty much one or the other. Not going to be both. It's whatever. Not a big deal. Maybe we take Devin Darden, and if that other corner, if I don't remember his name, though, he might fall into the second round, and we're able to land him there. Lots of good corners in this class, it appears, though. We'll check in on the scouting a little closer to time once we get a few more percentages up. I think we should hit 100 on all of those, what are they called? I'm blanking out right now. The positions we have. Najee accepted his option. Levi Wallace doesn't want to be here, and he regressed to a normal dev. Shannon Sullivan, not any better, really. We might bring Darius Rush back on a really cheap deal like this. If he accepts that, awesome. He's not interested in signing. Okay. I'm not really pushing myself to bring back Levi Wallace under this. If 1 year, okay, we might look at some of these guys in free agency or find some depth there, but nothing I'm really crazy over. There's just not interest here. Quan Alexander, thank you for your service for a year, but you're a 73 and aging, not interested. Same with you, Blake Martinez. Mason Rudolph, maybe bringing him back just for, if he's okay with being here, give him a 3-year, something like that, really easy, and then we can get off of Mitch's contract because he's got $8 million locked up for us. Not interested in anybody in the 60s, to be honest with you, especially at the ages that most of them are. Michael Walker could be a depth piece. We still do have a Landon Robertson, Cole Holcomb. We're going to leave out on him because we might end up drafting a guy in that position. Darius Rush, he's already out. We're not franchise tagging him. That's hilarious. Shannon Sullivan wants to be here, and we need the depth, so we'll probably give him a 2-year, shorten the numbers a little bit, and hope he goes for it. He wants to play elsewhere. All right, whatever. Keanu Neal, as a depth piece, if we can lower his numbers, I'm definitely fine with that. But that's about, nobody wants to play when you don't win games. That's what it ends up being. We're going to try to get James Pierre just because, on a cheap deal as well, just because we need the depth somewhere, but I'm still not concerned about James Pierre. So, yeah, we'll have to go sign pretty much a whole new plethora of cornerbacks. We've got some guys we can definitely trade this offseason. Guys like Patrick Peterson, guys like, Allen Robinson's another one. Larry Ogunjobi could be one. Some veteran guys we could offload their contract numbers so we can maybe make ourselves some money in the front end before things get too crazy. We're going to check in that now. We need some corners. That's for certain. Because, you know, maybe the offense ain't great. We have 2 corners on the roster right now. Definitely going to have some corners. Well, Pat Pete should be here. He's not a free agent. That's interesting. He must be hurt or something. I'm not sure. All right. Either way, got to get some corners. I mean, clearly you can see the room. There's got to be something done there. Darian Beavers, nice. Like the addition. We're going to roll through and try to find something. Cam Hayward did not retire. That's actually good for us. I'm not interested in keeping Larry Ogunjobi. We'll check him out. Chuck Okorafor can definitely be a guy we lose. Mason Cole could be a guy we lose. I'm going to check on Allen Robinson, though, because he is at least a decent overall, but nobody wants the collective of them. Let's see if there's anybody interested in any of them a little bit. I saw something for Ogunjobi for the Eagles. Great. Nothing else. Nothing else at all. All right, we're going to go to the Eagles and see if they have any money. They don't, surprisingly. No. We're going to see what we can do. Maybe get something out of them. Position of need, maybe. I don't know. Or young corner, Keely Ringo. He's here, I know. He's a 77 overall. Definitely, if they'd accept that, I'd do it. Eli Ricks would be an option, though he's not nearly the overall that obviously we'd want. Keely Ringo, not far. Maybe a little bit unrealistic, but we need the depth for sure. And I don't care. I'm going to go try to get Keely Ringo for the losing of, you know, something we don't need. You know, y'all take Mason Cole too. Double-decker, right? They ain't going to have the money for that. That stinks. We could give him a wide receiver, but I don't really want to trade anybody but Allen Robinson. I mean, unless they take Jordan Veazey, and that somehow gets them where they want to be. Yeah, we're going to have to just give up a pick. Probably a future pick, something not too crazy. You know, not this year. We're going to leave those. We're going to go 3 years in the future. Maybe give them a 5th and see if they take that. Keely Ringo is young, and we take it. We got him. That's great. A good young player, athlete. Definitely a guy that I was interested in the draft this past year, but obviously things happened, and he wasn't the most available player in terms of just, you know, how good he played, how raw he is. Just a lot of factors into Keely Ringo's draft stock that tanked him a bit. Like I said, we're still going to look to get rid of a couple of these guys on big contracts because we just don't need them here. Still don't want them. If I just do Allen Robinson, is there any interest? No. If I just do Chuks Okorafor, is there any interest? Let's check that one out. There are some interest. Hey, a corner and a 7th. We'll take it, actually. That's perfect. Get us the depth we need and move off a guy we don't need. Simple as that. Moving on, we're going to find a place to stick Allen Robinson. We're not keeping him here. Send him to the Raiders, maybe? I don't know how much we could get for him. A 4th seems fair to me to a point. I mean, probably a little bit unfair. Great, we got a 4th. Not worried about much, though. Cleared out some space. Definitely got roster spots now, nonetheless. Cleared out about $13 million in salary cap. Not interested in Tyron Smith. He's too old, too much money. You know, we got the quarterback we need. We can trade Mitch as well. That's another thing. We can definitely trade Mitch. We're going to get a receiver here down the board. Nothing that's going to take the spot of what's his name. Young fellow we got. Chase Claypool could come back to Pittsburgh. No, I'm fine. I'm fine without him. We might go with Dwayne Eskridge just because, you know, cheap relatively. Nobody's going to want him. We can lower these numbers really well and send him a crap offer. And he's not going to get offers elsewhere. So we can get our guy just to fill out the roster, as I said. I mean, he's semi-interested in that deal. That's fine with me. Tyron Smith we might come back to, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But I'm not going to sit here and just tell you that we're going to aim for him for sure. One other option would be finding a guard like Damian Lewis and then moving James Daniels over to center where he played in college. However, he hasn't played there since. That's a lot of money to tie up in a relatively older guard, but we might do it just because it's going to be our best option overall to, you know, get the best group together. A rookie is obviously fine, but Dan Moore is up to about a 73 overall. Not too bad. Definitely wouldn't mind moving off of him, but not something I'm just, like, pressed to do. We got to find a replacement for Ogunjobi. Bryce Huff would be great, but he doesn't want to be here, and his money is too much for me to make that happen. A guy like A.J. Epinesa could be nice. I like A.J. Epinesa as a player myself, and then also he's not terribly expensive. We can give him a couple extra years to beef that deal up, but not pay him too much. And he's a guy who could still develop a little bit. Yeah, we're going to keep that there. Like I said, I'm not interested in giving up a ton of money to some of these guys. They're not worth it. However, if we get somebody that is willing to be here and, you know, maybe a decent number, we're good. Like, that's fine with me. Mike Hilton we could bring back in the slot position. I swear we still have Pat Pete. I don't know what's going on with that. I've got to check that out, actually, because I just don't understand what's going on there. Did he retire? Oh, I guess he could have retired. It didn't show me the retirements. Let's go to the transactions and check out the retirements, because that just is screwing me up. We've got a bunch of trades now. Retired. Pat Pete did retire. I see him right there. We're going to check anybody else. Just Pat Pete. Okay. That explains why our quarterback room is quite literally dead. If I knew he was gone, I probably would have tried harder for Levi Wallace, but oh well, we're past it now. We're where we are. We could also use a safety. I'm not really interested in any of these guys. I mean, Jordan Fuller wouldn't be bad for sure. Jeremy Chin. I like Jeremy Chin. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, they both have one offer. Jeremy Chin has a little bit of interest just because of our success in terms of, Mike Tomlin, I guess, is what the answer is there. I'll give him extra money. 3-year deal. He's star dev. He's 26 years old. He likes the offer relatively well. We're going to probably land him. That's good for us. He'll play our strong safety while Minka will move to free safety. We could bring back 2 different guys at Pittsburgh. Neither of them has a mentor badge, so I'm really not that interested. I'd rather get a mentor in here. A guy like Kyle Fuller who wants to be here maybe. Doesn't want to be paid $1 trillion, but still kind of wants to be here. I'm not going to pay him that much even, because it's just not worth it. He's probably not going to get offers outside of us. And, yeah, he's not worth it. Okuda would be nice if he wanted to be here, but I'm not going to go for a young guy who doesn't want to. Shannon Sullivan still wants to be here, but, Akella Witherspoon could be brought back. Bryce Hall, I like that. At 26 years old, I got some youth to him. We could definitely work with that. We are filling out our room quite a bit. I might have to look back and, withdraw a couple of these offers. What are we at? We're at our full max now. Definitely going to keep him. Epinesa is a guy we got to bring. Bryce Hall would be nice, but at the same time, if we're going to draft a guy, and we brought in Keely Ringo, I'm going to withdraw that one, actually. Just, I got to look sometimes, make sure I get where I want. And now Tyron Smith. Do we want to bring him in? This is much more, we don't really have, never mind. We don't have the money to. There's our answer there. Josh Jones, a solid player. Not that much better than Dan Moore, though. Now, this is our next answer. Do we want to do this? We could definitely afford him if we make some moves like this, bump a couple things down, give him an extra year. I'm not going to be upset with this because that would make our O-line collectively pretty good. We're way higher than the next offer. We're going to make sure we get a lot closer because I think we'll land him pretty much either way. And we don't want to be paying a guy a ton of money when we just don't need to. That's pretty good to me. So here is our list of targeted guys in this first free agency. Chin, Fuller, Lewis, Epinesa, Eskridge. We are front runners for all of them. Can we land any or all? We got Jeremy Chin. That's great. We got a playmaker. We're going to have to up our offer on Lewis. Everybody else stays put. I'm fine with that. We'll go down 1 year, but probably go something like a $6 million salary with a little bit extra on the bonus. Trying to get up there to compete for this offer. We got him in the first spot again. We got to get this guy, really. And we got him. Damian Lewis isn't one of ours. That means James Daniels is going back to center like he did in his college days. Eskridge and Fuller are not signing yet, but I'm not really worried about them. Fuller, like I said, he's just going to be a guy that is there to be the mentor and have that badge and help out. We're going to end up moving James Daniels over to center. That means we don't have to worry about drafting one. That's going to help out a ton in that vein. And Daniels was a solid center in college. Moved to guard as he got to the NFL, obviously. But we're not worried about it. Got to check that mock draft here in a second. The Tyron Smith to the Commanders. Tony Pollard to the Rams. Michael Pierce to the Falcons. Micah Hyde to the Titans. Andrew Van Ginkel to the Falcons. Lyle Collins. Yeah, I'm just going to let y'all see some of these. Odell to the Texans is interesting. Bringing in an actual vet for their, young quarterback in C.J. Stroud. Maybe one of the next rebuilds I do. I don't know. We got Dwayne Eskridge. We're good there. Can we just get Kyle Fuller to sign? All right. He should have signed. There we go. Kyle Fuller signs. We got all of our vets we need. Filled out the roster decently. We're at what? How many players? 52 players. So once we draft, we'll have plenty of guys to add in, get rid of, this, that, and the third. Damian Lewis already going to go up in overall. He just seems like a Steeler to me. He got that, rough, tough mentality to him. Watched him last week play the Steelers and played pretty well. So, not upset about that. I'm going to go through our roster, make sure we got what we need to get to the draft. Here we are in the NFL draft, and we're just going to go ahead and jump straight to our pick. I'm not really worried about, there's nobody ahead of us that was something we were trying to die for. That corner, that top corner, looked really good, but There's a lot of corners in this class, and it's just simply not worth trading up when we could get a couple guys. Devin Darden, an upgrade at left tackle potentially. I looked through a lot of this. This day 3 running back has 3 potential A's. That's insane. Yeah, had to just mark him. This guy, undrafted free agent, 3 potential A's. As he's one of those examples of an outside linebacker who projects as a middle linebacker very well. This was our guy that we looked at first. Let's check and see what else we had. I have some reasons for marking some of those other guys. The other corners on the board, obviously our guy is like way down here. So we could potentially trade back or draft a tackle or draft something else and still land this guy. But at the same time, he looks really good. And like comparatively, look at just the top 4 ratings. B's down the board is pretty good, no doubt. But like C's and F's and B's all placed in the guys between. And he's got B's and A's. So comparing him, 6 foot, 194, elite acceleration, good speed, great strength. Man coverage is an A. He's obviously a man guy. Zone coverage is a B. He's got the coverages you want. That's for certain. Then the other guy to compare him to would just be this Woodyard fella. Tracy Woodyard. Solid. Not as good of an athlete, actually. B-man, B-zone. So both are lower. Lower injury. I don't remember what the catching was. But I really feel like the other guy's better. It's a bit of a stretch to try to trade down because, you don't want to accidentally forget him and lose him. But I feel like we can wait a little bit. We don't need anything else. I'm not really interested in the quarterbacks. We didn't really look enough at them, to be fair. But, I mean, we had that left tackle option. We could go with him. Or we could just trade a couple picks down and try to just grab some assets. We have some trade packages. We do. We're going to definitely trade down. We're definitely going to trade down. Maybe not very far. 17, honestly, may even be too far. We're literally trying to move back like 3 spots and just get a couple extra picks. We're at 12. What else can we grab from somebody? 17 would have to be the closest so far. I'm not moving much farther than that. 17. It's a little bit risky, but add in a 4th and 2 7th, or 18 and get 3 7ths. Ah, man. I think we'll go... We might make our own trade offer. Because I think I can just drop some of those 7ths and 4ths and get like a 3rd maybe. So here's the trade. We trade back 3 spots with the Bears. We upgrade our 2nd round pick. We move up like 5 spots. And we get a 3rd to give up a 2nd and a 7th. Excuse me, not that. We move up we trade our 2nds. We're just to flip them. First we flip them. We get a 3rd as well in this draft. And Mitch Trubisky and Mason Cole coach Chicago. Sayonara, Mitch Trubisky. Go back to where you came from. Appreciate you. So let's just hope we land our guy. His last name was Carr. Only one more pick between us. There's the Woodyard guy. He was the guy we had the other option of. And we're going to land our guy in Carr. Not upset at all. And see, we moved 7 spots up. We were at 212, and now we are at up to all the way to 5 in the 2nd round. Darius Carr coming to Pittsburgh. He's a normal dev. That does stink quite a bit, actually. You got to... be a little disappointed there. Maybe the Woodyard fella had a better dev trait, but at this point, we got a good player. He's got the better ratings. He'll play fine. He might even get a dev trait upgrade as we go. So, checking into our... Devin Darden's still here. I think we might just have to go ahead and take him. I don't know... he's got good ratings. I don't remember if there was anything above him. There's a couple defensive tackles that were interesting. But Devin Darden, that's a good player. Jermichael Norman, that's who it was. He had some good prospect to him. A on his tackling. His injuries, not great. A is play rec, that's pretty good. C finesse moves, that's not bad for him. Power moves is probably a B. He's probably a much more needed player is the thing, is where I'm coming at now. That's where I'm interested. We're probably going to need him more. The ends... I don't really think there's anything here that's going to make me go crazy for that. We're not needing a receiver, really. This is tough, man. This is real tough. Because I did not think that tackle was going to be here. And now we have the best problem possible. These guys will just not be needed if we go get him. 1st, 2nd round talent, but do we need him? Let's check our roster out and make the decision that way. If we need the tackle, we take the tackle. If we don't need the tackle, we don't take the tackle. How easy does that make it? So left tackle spot is at a 72. We got one guy there. Dan Moore, not a bad player. Our right end, that's not what I was looking at. Keanu Benton is our only defensive tackle. We do need that probably more, but we have our starter. We're not going to have too many defensive tackles on the field with Epinesa, with Cam Hayward. So maybe it would be better to take the tackle who might start immediately, have a dev trait, be able to develop. And I think that's what we're going to do. Devin Darden, make sure he looks pretty good. Solid speed, elite change of direction, A impact, A awareness, A pass block finesse. C's are his worst blocking. We're taking him. He's got a dev trait, 86 strength as a left tackle. He is the franchise left tackle from here on out. Dan Moore, sayonara. Moving to the third round, where we got the Bears pick for next to nothing, to be quite honest. And we got rid of Mitch Trubisky. This is a Steelers fan's dream. Once again, just killing the Chicago Bears. All that we have left is these guys. We're not looking at taking them. So we're going to look down the board ourselves. At a tight end, maybe? I don't know. Anything here look interesting? I don't think we had anything marked. Go Hogs. Yeah. I don't make a guard can't hurt. The day 3 guys. I don't really know anything about these fellas at all, to be honest. So we're gonna keep moving past there. Where are D tackles at? Where are we looking at? I mean, I figured our guy would be gone. Nothing here that's shocking me. Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Dwayne Robinson might not be that bad. Dwayne Robinson. Elite speed as a middle linebacker. What's his size? 6'1", 230. He's a little undersized. He's got a 4.4 speed, though. Player X good. Man coverage ain't bad. Zone coverage is very good. Tackle is good. That's a solid player. We're going to go ahead and take Dwayne Robinson. He looks like one of the better players available. Undersized a little bit, but we only have Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts. So we've got the ability to move around there. Landon Roberts is obviously a little bit older, so a guy who can, replace him eventually. Then we get that thumper still, but also have, a good additive there. Let's see. I want to just check out this running back. I just saw that. Honestly, I didn't even look much into him. Very well. I mean, 4.5 speed's it's fine. D juke move ain't great, but B trucking, A stiff arm. He's a power back. He's A to C awareness. He looks pretty solid. We're gonna take him at some point, just not now. It's not worth it now. I don't really, like I said before, didn't really have a ton of guys scouted in outside positions. We filled out our line better than I thought we could. So I just don't really see. There were a few of those tackles. They're all gone though. I don't remember their names. They were all liked, I believe. So we're just kind of, that guy doesn't look bad at all. But at the same time, I just don't know that we're really interested in another guard when we've already kind of made that a big impact this season. What are the receivers looking like, I guess? That's one thing we could try to peer at. Just nothing crazy. I don't really like drafting receivers. They're very average if you don't get the top guys. So let's do some of these ends. We're going to have to replace this position eventually anyways. Not good physicals at all. Not good physicals at all. That's some pretty good physicals. Good speed. He's running the fastest 40. That's a good, what are his stats like? Not the best injury. Okay tackle. Awareness ain't bad. That means he's going to have a decent overall probably. Power moves could be solid. He's an option. We're in the third round here. He's an option. Kawhi Matthews. Definitely an option. Because we do have to, what's his size? Does he have any projection to play over in the center? Not really at all. He's quite small for that, to be honest. We do need a D-tackle still. Get that depth going. Great speed for a D-tackle. 4.86. Finesse moves is good. Power moves is bad. Play rec is A. That's pretty solid. B awareness. This guy might not be bad either. Marcus Goddard. Might go with him. What is the projections on these guys? Can I potentially get both of them? 3 to 4 and day 3. We can go ahead and probably land both of them. We're going to go with Marcus Goddard here in the third round, our second pick in the third round. A hidden dev trait, that's going to be huge for us. And we get a guy to help out Keanu Benton in that front. That's going to be good for us. Move to the fourth round. Hopefully that Kawhi Matthews is still there at that left end spot. I don't know. Day 3, you can never tell. I kind of hate it. Doesn't really give you a good nailed down position. He was a left end, I believe. Kawhi Matthews is here. We're going to just go ahead and take him. We need to get development on that defensive front anyways. Not a dev trait there, but it's fine. We'll live with it. Moving on. 5th round. We're going to make this into this draft really quick. Don't have any reason to hold up. We're probably going to end up taking that running back or the other linebacker soon. They were very good. And we do need another linebacker anyways. Okay, well, the running back's gone. We're taking the linebacker. Just going to go and get it out of the way. 85 speed, 89 acceleration, 79 strength. Not a bad player. Taking Chase Claypool's number to get that awful time out of the Steelers' history. Just going to go ahead and replace number 11. I guess it was Allen Robinson most recently. I'm forgetting about him. Let me not. Thank you for your 1 year of contribution, Allen. If you're watching this video, you're not. But, you know, why not? Take a watch. Why don't you subscribe, Allen? Anybody else subscribe just like Allen should? Help me out. Do a ton for my channel. Yikes. Jimmy McClain looks... He's another middle... I mean, we don't need to keep drafting these middle linebackers, but golly, this guy looks pretty solid as well. Definitely not a rusher. B man coverage. B pursuit. D hit power's a little bit soft. Elite change of direction. This guy looks pretty solid. That's interesting. I mean, I don't want to just keep taking linebacker, but I mean, he's a little undersized, so we're going to maybe lead off of him from there. Might look at another corner just to get some depth in that room. Another middle linebacker looks pretty solid. A receiver here looking not too bad. LeAngelo Burrell. Great speed, runs a 4.4. B deep route, B spec catch, D short route, D medium route. Not great there. F injury. He ain't going to stay on the field ever. So we're going to skip past that. We don't have any more favorites. Our running back is gone. That's a little disappointing. But anybody else, maybe? Elusive back. None of them are going to be worthwhile, to be honest. Yeah, we might just let the CPU finish this out. I'll check a few things. Make sure, I don't know. I don't see anything crazy here. Wayne Hartman could be okay, but potential UDFAs just don't really stand out to me, to be quite honest. I mean, we could still use more guys on the line. I know these are UDFAs, but anybody look decent here? I see a few Bs on this guy. Perry Nance. Multiple Bs. B tackle. Decent speed. B block shed. That's pretty solid. A C awareness. That's not going to be great. Potentially good finesse moves. We'll take him. Why not? We have nothing else to go for. 93 strength. Not a bad add in there. All right. I think we're going to let this draft just finish out. Let the CPU take whoever the last guy is. So here's our draft class. Darius Carr is a 77 overall. Going to end up being one of the better players in the class. Devin Darden is going to be solid as well. The middle linebacker, who we didn't even have scouted, is going to be a solid player. Maybe even starting over Landon Roberts early. Matthews, solid. Goddard, not so great. Actually is a worse player than the D-tackle we drafted super late. But whatever. Gonna move over. This guy's gonna move to middle linebacker, so we'll check out and see what he, obviously moves his overall there. Maybe a case where Landon Roberts is a cap casualty, just because we don't need him anymore. He was a 70 as an outside backer. Moving him to the inside, he goes to a 68. So lower, but he's gonna play better. He's more in the scheme fit there. Chad Winslow. Apparently, we simulated past our own. We had back-to-back picks, and I didn't realize it. We got him anyways. Okay, that's great. He's a hidden dev and a 75 overall. I guess I didn't realize that we had back-to-back picks here. How in the world did I simulate past this? Oh, we took Kawhi Matthews, and I pressed simulate. I was looking up here at Goddard. So, what a lucky roll there. Didn't realize we had back-to-back picks because of some trades we made. I believe that might have been the Allen Robinson trade. Yeah, great. Not a bad draft class overall. We're going to be able to maybe make some solid moves with that. Definitely have to check our roster out, and I'll get to y'all at the beginning of the season. Going into year 2 now, we've got a training camp standout. It is Keanu Benton. We already know. I saw it in the preseason, obviously. We've got a couple extra things to look at. So I'm going to show you the roster here, what we're looking at, what our starters looking like, all those good things. And we've got a very nice surprise. A very, very nice surprise. I don't know if it will show it here, but I'll definitely let you know what I know. Yeah, it does not show it. George Pickens, here's the lineup. We're starting Darden over Moore. Here that's just what we're going with. A very upgraded line overall. Winslow is a superstar dev. He was a star dev, and we did the training camp rushing attack game, and he got the little rare feature where you get a dev trade upgrade in the thing, and he's superstar. So, that means Najee's a guy we probably can trade. Having Warren and him, I mean, that's basically the same two guys. I mean, Winslow is a power back. He's 5'10", 230, 225, whatever, but not nearly as big as Najee, but Najee could get us a very valuable player. We're not going to just trade him for nothing. We're definitely going to wait and look around, but something to keep an eye on nonetheless. The defense, Holcomb, we're starting Robertson over Roberts, though he's a 1 overall worse just because he's young and we can get that development going. Jeremy Chin, obviously starting safety. Epinesa on the end. Goddard, he got did his little training camp games. He got 2 overalls up, so now he's tied with Perry Nance. But yeah, he's going to be our second guy, considering he has that as well. Our cornerback room. Carr up to a 79. Ringo's going to play 3. Fuller, though he's better than Ringo, he's an older guy. We're going to let Ringo develop, try to get some movement there. But yeah, Fuller's just going to be there for that mentor badge. This is a good defense, and I think it's better than last year's. Calvin Austin's still going to be doing his thing. This line's going to be pretty much the same. Benton and Hayward, not taking them out of the picture. Holcomb, Robinson, once again, nothing special changing here. We're going to leave Najee in. We might just play out this year with Najee and hope Winslow keeps his dev trait, but we'll see. Either way, this is our team. Let's go see how many games we can win this year. My goal is to make the playoffs at least. I think it can happen for sure, so let's do that. Just going to stop in to let you guys know we had a major win over the Cowboys in Week 4. Kenny Pickett obviously won the weekly award of AFC offense, had a really good game, 4 passing touchdowns, and almost 300 yards, just shy. But we are doing pretty good. 4-1, going to play the Chiefs, a very interesting spot to check in at, just because of the fact that, as I said, we just beat a good team. We're going to play another good team with Patrick Mahomes. If we can win this game, that's pretty huge for us. So I'm going to go ahead and sim this one, and if something crazy happens, I'll let you know. If not, I just wanted to let you know that we're doing pretty good to start the season. At Week 8, we are a very successful 6-1, and so we've got to do some things. As I said, that rookie running back is a superstar dev, and hopefully he keeps it. We don't know yet. He's like 380 snaps. But Jaylen Warren becomes rather expendable. I don't even know what we need, but just anything that gets us value would be a better option than keeping him on the roster. A 3rd-round pick right there is very enticing. That's getting Morgan Moses. We wouldn't even start him just because Broderick Jones, yeah, he's 4 overalls better, which is a substantial margin, but at the same time, that's a 3rd-round pick. That's in 2 years, or a year. Yeah, and in not this next coming draft, but the one after. But that's still a 3rd-rounder. To the Ravens would be tough. I'd rather Juice Scruggs, a young player. I don't know. We might look and see who likes him and just see if we can get our own thing for him. I'm not sure. I'll go to a 4th. We're already gaining enough out of this anyways. A 2nd-rounder from the Commanders for Jaylen Warren. Fair enough for me. I don't know if there's anything else we really need to trade. We will check out some negotiations, though, as we have some pretty key players here trying to re-sign. Pat Freiermuth, he's got to come back. 5 years. We'll give him a little hair extra money. Good deal. We got you signed. We're going to wait on Deontay Johnson. I don't mind those numbers necessarily, but he doesn't want to be here. And I feel like we might be able to find something a little better. He's not the best. He does have superstar. We're going to get James Daniels back. Got to do that. He's a good player, and he's young. Dan Moore, obviously expendable now. Justin Ross, I brought him as a depth piece. Not worried about him. Landon Roberts can walk. We're going to wait on Cam Hayward as well because he probably will retire after this year. Kenny Pickett will likely accept his option. Presley Harvin will. I mean, we'll probably re-sign him. He's not really going to cost us a thing, and, it's a punter, whatever. He doesn't want to be here, but we're not worried about it. This would be a good offseason to try to find a player that, maybe a really elite wide receiver. That might be one thing. Check and see if there's an elite wide receiver on the last year of their deal that we could pair with George Pickens in this offense to try to really make some actual moves. DJ Moore, he's got 2 years left on his deal. Not really looking for anybody with anything more than a year because I just don't think they're going to be valuable in terms of trade. Amari Cooper, a little older than I'm aiming for, but a good receiver nonetheless. They upped Mike Evans and Godwin back. That's insane. That's crazy. Keenan Allen, he's older, but I actually like that better for some reason. I don't know why. They're the same overall. Maybe that superstar is helping me, but either way, I just like that offer kind of. CeeDee's too young and too good. Tyreek is a great receiver, obviously. I mean, I would take a guy like Jalen Waddle, no doubt. And I might look into, maybe a Devontae Smith, seeing how much it would take in a trade for him. Maybe that second rounder we just got can be flipped over to get a really good wide receiver, plus maybe Deontay Johnson as well. Or we keep Deontay for this year and try to have a big 3 for the rest of the season. We're just going to ride with Deontay, maybe even bring him back next year. We'll look at it as we go. Either way, let's just continue simming. This team looks pretty good so far. Najee Harris gets himself a breakout game in Cincinnati. So potentially an X factor. That would pretty much render him as our future running back. We can't really give up a X factor, obviously. We're going to go ahead and do a couple things here while we're here. Just training once again. Devin Darden's a star, the left tackle we drafted. I missed everything else, to be honest with you. I don't know what they are. We'll check them. But, yeah, this has been a very good year. We have lost 2 games. I almost said 1 game. Weekly awards, 49-7 win versus the Patriots. And Najee had 128 yards, total of 5 touchdowns the last game. 3 rushing, 2 receiving. Yeah, that's why he gets a breakout game. TJ Watt, 6 tackles, 3 sacks last week. Checking out just a couple stats over here. I want to see if we're leading. Najee is second in rushing, but has 10 less attempts than the guy ahead of him and 2 less touchdowns. No receivers. TJ Watt leading the league in sacks. Yeah, looking pretty good there. Definitely not upset about that. I mean, we're 10-2. I had some scouting done for the quarterbacks. Doesn't look like that's going to be needed. Deontay Johnson's our question now. I don't think we can reasonably not bring him back. I'm going to check out his player card. I'm going to check his stats for this year, really. This season, he's at 45 receptions, 500, almost 600 yards, 1 touchdown. He's been good for us, though. I feel like this is a deal we have to make as a, thank you for your service type of deal. We're going to do it for 2 years, though, just because he is a little older. He doesn't want to come back yet. That's fine. We might even franchise tag him, considering he's a higher 80 overall player and a superstar. Negotiations, well, that's what we just did. Why am I going back to this? I don't know. Not really worried about much of the rest of them. They're depth pieces. We might hit some here or there, but nothing crazy. Upgrades for this week. Chad Winslow, that rookie running back, he is going to get up to an 80 overall already. And he hasn't even played that much. Let's see. Yeah, he's just about to unlock his depth trait, which is superstar, which is going to be great. But at the same time, whatever. I mean, not really something we're concerned about. Devin Darden up to a 77, playing to a 79 with morale. Great for us. Spencer Anderson and Seth Sitton, some backups. Just going to get them what they need to. Hopefully Najee hits this. That'd be awesome, but I'd have to severely doubt it. It just doesn't really happen in this game. So we're at week 18, and we're 14-2. Our overall is just absolutely insane. I really am shocked this happened. We were 7-10 last year, had the 12th overall pick, and now we're going into the playoffs as probably a lock 1 seed. If we're not, I'd be shocked, actually. We're going to give a player-friendly offer here. That's a little high, I think. Wow. We'll go about right. Not 5 years, actually. Sorry, let me go 2 years for that. I'll give him a bit of money for 2 years. He resigns. We got Deontay Johnson back. How much does Dan Moore want? That's too much for a backup. Okay. I had to check because if he wanted not much for be a very good backup, okay, I would take it. Nate Herbig, on a 3-year with really, really cheap option. That'd be good for me. He'll hit a 70 sooner rather than later. It'll just be a good option for me. Cam Hayward now. A tough extension here because obviously it's Cam Hayward, and he's got that mentor tag, which can only help. If he takes a really low offer, we'll give it to him, but yeah, he's going to have to re-increase the pay, but I might wait till the offseason to see if he actually retires by that point. We're going to go through, hit this game, and hopefully we win and get into the playoffs pretty easily. Playoff picture-wise, looking pretty good for us. We're the 1 seed. 2 seed is Indy. 3 seed Buffalo. 4 seed Kansas City. In the NFC, the Niners, the Detroit Lions, the Panthers are on top again, and the Cowboys are winning their division. That's who our lead is right now. Let's get through this, and we'll check our season out as a whole. In the divisional round, let's check out the first round results. Any upsets potentially happening. The Raiders did upset the Colts, and we are facing them. The Chiefs upset the... Oh, I said Chiefs earlier were leading theirs, I believe, and they are not. They are... wow, they didn't if they ended up that way. But they did upset the Chargers anyways. Then the Dolphins-Bills, a matchup we will see actually this weekend, interestingly enough. Yeah, that sets up Bills-Chiefs and Steelers-Raiders. Over here, wow, I can't speak right now. The Packers land an upset over the Lions, and they're going to face the Niners. Let's jump into our game, as we usually do, and go ahead and see what happens throughout this divisional playoff game. Going into our playoff game at Heinz Field, the road to the Super Bowl lies through Pittsburgh this year. We are going to go straight into this. They get 3 points on their opening drive. Not by change of possession. I meant change of quarter. We get 7. So 7-3. We will take that. Looks like Deontay Johnson got a 42-yard touchdown. Heck of a play by him. Getting in there. We get the ball to start the second quarter. Hopefully we can put up more points. We can't. Oh, wait, we do. Something happened. I don't know when we scored, but we did. Looks like we might have gotten a turnover in the red zone. We're just beating the tar out of them right now. I mean, it's pretty much what we did all season long to most opponents, but interception, Anthony Walker gets one. That's a Raiders player, not one of ours. Excuse me. Now we're up by 21. We're going to go down, get another 3 on the board. We're up by a lot, and that is our final, I believe. That is it. Divisional round over. We're going to go to the next round. 3 touchdowns, 185 yards for Kenny Pickett. Not the best game, but certainly not the worst. At least he got 3 touchdowns. Got us where we needed to be. Looks like we were set up in a lot of position to score. I'm not worried about it. Good for us. We're going to go through and just make sure we hit all the extra things, any upgrades, all those things, and I'll get back to you with the next game. The Bills are coming to town for an AFC Championship game. They are 87 overall across the board. We are an 88, 91, 80, 87, 91, 88, something like that. Either way, doesn't matter. Let's get into this. They score 3 on their first drive, but like last game, it looks like we're going to put up 7 or so on our first drive. Nope, just 3 to match. Not bad, though. We get 7 on looked like a shot play there. Up 10-3 going into halftime. Great news for us. Going into the third quarter, we get the ball. Looks like a stalemate so far. 10-3, not the most exciting game. We're going to jump forward by change of possession since we're so close. They tie it at 10. Not great for us. What can we do on our next drive? That's going to be a big one. Have to punt. Get them down at the 5-yard line. 61-yard punt. What a heck of a punt. Oh, wait, that was for them. What a heck of a punt there. Change of possession. We get the ball at our plus 40. Sam Martin, a terrible punt, leading to a Calvin Austin return. Basically, essentially, in field goal range. In field goal range already. We get 7, though. Don't matter. Don't need the 3. We get an 8-yard touchdown to Deontay Johnson, who's clearly paid his rent from that contract. And we go down and win the game 17-10. Not the most pretty of scores. Maybe a messy game. But Kenny Pickett outplays Josh Allen. Deontay Johnson, 5 catches, 52 yards. George Pickens, 9 receptions, 114 yards. Najee Harris, 21 carries, 94 yards. Heck of a game from our offensive playmakers. And we're going on to the Super Bowl in year 2. Super Bowl in Dallas, Texas for the Cowboys. Except they're not playing. Because, well, who's surprised there? The Cowboys don't play in Super Bowls since about 1995. Battle of mid-quarterbacks, though. Kenny Pickett and Brock Purdy. Not the best combo. However, they're getting off to an early chance at scoring. Moving on to the next quarter, though, they get 3. And we go up to tie their 3 pretty quickly. Let's see what we can do here. The next, they get 3 more. We're marching down the field ourselves and get stopped an interception. But we score 7 to go up at halftime. 10-6. A lower scoring Super Bowl. But hey, we're moving. We're up by 7 now. It's huge for us getting that 7-point lead, the full touchdown. Now we're going to go by change of possession. They have to punt, put us back at the 20. Let's not do that. I'm not going to click through the whole thing. Change of possession once again. Can we score more points? No. They're down at the 10-yard line, though. Heck of a play by Presley Harvin. Let's go one more change of possession. I believe that should wind a lot of clock off. And we're with 4 minutes left. We're going to get the ball. And with a chance to wind it out pretty much. 2nd and 13 all the way to 3rd and 1. A great 12 yards by George Pickens. We get the conversion there. What happened? Something happened. A lot happened. We're already down in the red zone. 4th and 1. We're going to take the points, get up by 10 with a minute and a half left. This is going to be tough for them to do anything. But on their first play, a huge penalty by us. Looks like probably a face mask gets them down pretty far. 2nd and 13. They're already in field goal range, but they have to do a lot of scoring here in the last few minutes. Let's do something here. Let's do this. Can I join no team? I don't know. I don't remember how to do that, if that was a thing in this game. We have the ball, though. It's over. We must have picked it off. Yep, it just showed turnover 1 for us, none for San Fran. Najee's going to run the ball 1 time, and this game is over. Steelers have won a Super Bowl in a short, well, technically 1 season. Because right now in real life, where we're at, the season's almost over. And Najee's going to get us the first down just to secure it and just pad his stats a hair bit. But yeah, Najee Harris gets us a 16-6 Super Bowl win. Baldy's running out in the field like he did something. Don't even know who you are. AJ Epinesa left the Bills where he thought he's going to win a Super Bowl. Nope, go to Pittsburgh, win a Super Bowl there, bud. Kenny Pickett beats Brock Purdy. That is storybook if you're a Steelers fan. That'd be hilarious. Najee Harris with a heck of a run this year. We're going to go check some stats. Wow. Kenny Pickett thoroughly outplayed Purdy. Almost more than double the yards. And a touchdown. Looks like Brock Purdy also threw a pick in the game as well. So, major win for us, not just as, a team, but as players, getting the benefit of the doubt. Just interesting to see. We're going to have a good season this year, and then also not a lot of guys leaving next year. That's going to be highly beneficial for us. Keely Ringo's up to a 78 overall, playing well. Going to get his man-to-man upgraded well. Let's see where he's at now. Man coverage at a 74, zone at about an 80. That's pretty good considering he was about there earlier. We need to check our stats. We never did that, and that's going to be a big one for us. Kenny Pickett was 9th in the NFL in passing yards, had about 3,900 yards, 28-7. Takes care of the ball, 73% completion. Heck of a year. Najee, 5 yards a carry, 17 touchdowns. Heck of a year for him, 1,500 yards. Chad Winslow, also a good year. 10 rushing touchdowns himself. George Pickens broke that 1,000-yard mark. Deontay Johnson almost did. 9 touchdowns for Pickens. 5 for Muth with 730 yards to add. Calvin Austin with a nice 700 yards himself. Going to the defensive side of the ball. TJ Watt, a record-breaking 23.5 sacks. He should have done it 2 years ago. He got another sack, and they took it away from him. Either way, we're here now, bud. We're not leaving it anywhere else. Jeremy Chin, heck of an impact early. So was Dwayne Robinson. Joey Porter Jr., Cole Holcomb. Not the most turnovers, but not bad. Kicking, Boswell doing his thing. Presley Harvin, 52 yards per punt. Not bad there. 5th in offensive yards on the year. Huge upgrade from last year. And 2nd in defensive yards. So we're up 2 and up like 20 spots for offense. What a year. Now, we're going to go through and see the extra development that may have happened from the Super Bowl, some dev trade upgrades, things like that. A lot of benefits when you win a Super Bowl for sure. Checking this out, season recap. Did we get any awards? No. We did not get either the offensive or defensive. TJ Watt won Super Bowl MVP. I wonder what he did. I wonder if he got like a couple sacks or something. Let's see. Weekly awards will probably be listed here. 4 sacks in the Super Bowl for TJ Watt. The best players make impact plays in the most meaningful times. 4 sacks in the Super Bowl. That might be a record. I don't know what the Super Bowl sack record is, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was a record. Got another upgrade for our left tackle, Devin Darden. Going to be good for him. 79 overall after 1 season. Went up about 6 overalls inside of this season. That's going to be a huge upgrade. How many more actual players do we have? Alex Highsmith up to a 90. I'll let that take care of itself. Yeah, pretty good year there. That's impressive in general. TJ Watt should definitely... Did he win Defensive Player of the Year? How did he not win Defensive Player of the Year? Aaron Donald won Defensive Player of the Year when TJ Watt had the sack record. Aaron Donald had 20 and 21 tackles for loss. If you get those combo, man, they always give it to you, even though TJ broke the record. Either way, yeah, this has been a good one. Let me know what you guys think of this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button, subscribe. All those good things help my channel a ton. I'm going to be doing rebuilds all throughout the offseason. I've already done 5, so go check out the other ones. Cardinals, the Falcons. There was just one recently. Yeah, I don't even remember right now. This is great. 2 years and a Super Bowl win. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.